Ladies and gentlemen, fans of the Squared Circle, those who have watched with awe and anticipation as the Beast Incarnate has stormed through arenas for over 2 decades. Today, we gather in the shadow of a silence louder than any entrance music, any F5, any Suplex City chant. Because Brock Lesnar, the destroyer of streaks, the conqueror of champions, the man who was once WWE's most terrifying presence, is no longer walking through the curtain. And this absence, this void where Fury once stood, may not just be a creative decision. It may be something much more complicated. Much darker. Let us be honest, when Brock Lesnar goes missing, it doesn't go unnoticed. This is not a part-time star quietly writing out a storyline. This is a seismic force pulled off the map without warning. Since SummerSlam 2023, we've seen no return. No teasers. No surprise appearances. Not even a whisper of Paul Heyman invoking the sacred words, "my client." And now, we may finally have an idea why. Because someone who knows the pulse of both octagons and wrestling rings, UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier, has stepped forward with a revelation. A revelation not uttered in a promo, not shouted from a storyline, but dropped casually during an interview, with a tone that sent shockwaves down every fan's spine. Brock is on the ban list right now. Those were his words. Plain, candid, almost casual, but loaded with implication. Daniel Cormier didn't just say Lesnar's being kept off TV. He didn't say creative has nothing for him. He said something far more serious. Brock got into so much trouble, bro is in so much trouble. Trouble. Not storyline trouble. Not suspension for an in-ring altercation. Not a wellness policy violation. No, this was Cormier suggesting something that shakes the foundations not just of WWE, but of TKO Group Holdings itself, the parent company, the new monolith overseeing both WWE and UFC after the merger. And what does it mean to be on a TKO ban list? It means you are persona non grata. It means that no amount of championship pedigree, no record-breaking merchandise sales, no box office power can save you. It means that somewhere behind the scenes, in corporate boardrooms and legal war rooms, your name is being circled for all the wrong reasons. Now, let us talk plainly about the whispers. About the unconfirmed but widely circulated speculation that Brock Lesnar's name may be tied to something far more troubling than any scripted rivalry. That he may, in some capacity, be connected to the lawsuit brought by Janel Grant against Vince McMahon. This lawsuit, a lawsuit that has already rocked WWE to its core, does not concern itself with petty grievances or creative differences. It accuses Vince McMahon of sexual misconduct and human trafficking. It is a lawsuit that forced a resignation. That redefined the face of the company overnight. And as those legal documents swirled through the media, one name reportedly surfaced in the background noise: Brock Lesnar. Now, let's be clear. As of today, Brock Lesnar has not been officially charged with any crime. He has not been formally named as a defendant in any lawsuit. But in the world of billion-dollar corporations, perception is a liability. Allegations, whispered or otherwise, carry weight. And in a post-McMahon WWE, the new leadership under TKO does not appear to be taking chances. Because this is no longer Vince McMahon's WWE. This is Ari Emanuel's TKO. This is Endeavor. This is a company that wants sponsorship deals, stockholder trust, media credibility. A company trying to shed the shadows of the past and walk clean into the future. And if Brock Lesnar, once a favorite, once a crown jewel, is seen as a potential threat to that sanitized image, he will not be brought back for nostalgia's sake. He will be benched, silenced, banished. Daniel Cormier's words weren't just gossip. They were a signal. A red flare fired high into the sky that something may be very, very wrong behind the curtain. What did Brock do? Cormier won't say. "I ain't telling you on air what Brock did," he said. Which only feeds the fire. Because when a man who has shared commentary tables with Weasel Elite, who's exchanged blows in MMA cages with legends, refuses to say the details aloud, it means they're not just serious but radioactive. So where does this leave us, the fans? With memories. With echoes of dominance. With reruns of suplexes and 5-star matches. But no new content. No beast. No return. Just absence. This isn't a gimmick. This isn't a worked shoot. This is reality colliding headfirst with fandom. It's a reminder that behind the show, there are consequences. Behind the roar of the crowd, there are contracts, courtrooms, and cold decisions made in high-rise towers. And if even Brock Lesnar, the next big thing, the one in 21-1, the man who stood across from The Undertaker, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and so many more, can be taken off the board this completely, it means the game has changed forever. This isn't about championships anymore. This is about optics, about legality, about what corporations can afford to be associated with. And for TKO, at this very moment, Brock Lesnar is simply too dangerous to touch. And still, no official statement from WWE. No tweet from Paul Heyman. No explanation offered to the audience who once watched Lesnar dominate WrestleManias with terrifying ease. It is as if he has been erased. Because sometimes, when the spotlight fades, it doesn't mean a character is resting. It means the walls have closed in. It means the story cannot be told because the truth is heavier than fiction. And now we're left to wonder, will we ever see him again? Not in video packages, not in Hall of Fame montages, but live, in action, as the juggernaut who once terrified the locker room. Because if TKO's stance remains firm, if the ban list holds, then Lesnar's legacy may have been sealed at SummerSlam 2023. That may have been the last time we heard his music hit. That may have been the final chapter in the saga of a man who once seemed untouchable. And now, he is silent, vanished, banished by a company no longer willing to take risks, banished by a system no longer willing to protect stars at the cost of its integrity. Banished, perhaps, because the truth, whatever it is too damning to reveal. So we wait, not for his return, but for the silence to speak.